36, the end of the Grand Canal Way, and it is blowing up a storm here today. Lough 36 is actually the start of our trip, and it's here at Shannon Harbour. The actual harbour itself extends from Lough 36 all the way down to Lough 35, and we are staying in a beautiful B&B there called the Harbour Master's House, which obviously used to be the old Harbour Master's House. It hasn't been for a number of years, obviously. So, over 100 kilometres, we're walking to Dublin. It's going to be amazing, and yeah, see how we go and see whether we get there. We just headed down a little bit past Lough 36, just down a grass track, and if you keep going you would hit the River Shannon. So that's where this goes. The River Shannon is the longest river in Ireland. Right, today we are starting the Grand Canal, but before we do, we're going to take a detour to Lough Boora. So our lovely host here, Darren from the Harbour Master's House, has offered us a lift to this beautiful parkland. So we take a little detour off, and we'll skip just a little tiny bit of this section at the start, and then we'll get back onto the Canal Way later. So. The weather today has been described by the Met as dull, so we shall see how dull that actually is, with some rain for later. But for now, let's get going to Dublin.
To Dublin.
Now, just before we leave Shannon Harbour, this is the first of 5 old hotels that were owned by the Grand Canal Company. This one's now derelict, and there are still a couple that are in use for, not as hotels, along the way, so I look forward to seeing those. It's been a wonderful stay here. McIntyre's Pub, highly recommend. Dermot there, who runs it, is fantastic, and we had a great night there last night. So if you were going the Grand Canal Way, from here you would head that way, but we're going to take our detour, so see you soon. Welcome to Lough Boora Discovery Park. As we explore Lough Boora, it's important to note that this is actually considered a really important Mesolithic site as well, and the bogs in this area have, given humans warmth and shelter and all that kind of thing for thousands of years. And now this has been turned into a beautiful parkland with lots of different habitats for animals and all sorts of things. And we're going to explore this as much as we can today, and I will show you a little bit of it as we travel. Sculpture made from the old railway stuff. Whilst we're wambling through this site, I also want to take the opportunity to recognise some superb kindness from the people that live around Shannon Harbour. Dermot in McIntyre's Pub, who made us a lovely pizza on a non-food night. We had a couple of drinks and learnt a lot about the local area and had a really lovely chat. And also the folks at outdoorsy.ie, who are actually in the town, and they gifted me a bottle of waterproof, Granger's waterproofing stuff for my rain jacket. So my rain jacket had started to wet through a little bit, and so Darren and the B&B also helped me out with washing that and getting that sorted, because one needs that here in the beautiful green Emerald Isle. So those people, very special, thank you. The bog is really in bloom. These beautiful flowers. Maybe they're weeds, I don't know, but they're very pretty. So today is another definite lesson in listen to the locals. We followed that the whole trip because this has been absolutely lovely. It's just gorgeous what they've done with this place. Man, if I lived around here, I think I would run here all the time. Oh, so lovely. Despite the grey. I don't know if you can see this, but the ground is so spongy. I've forgotten that it's like that. It's been a while since we've been in a bog. Yeah, it's really cool. This, believe it or not, is a sculpture. It's called Raised Line, and it's a galvanized container full of bog. Who knew? Art, huh? This sculpture is called the Celtic Knot, and this is the gnarled root of a pine tree. It also has a bee's hive in the back of it. The gnarled root of a pine tree that was in the ground for 5,000 years before it was unearthed. And it is sitting atop of a piece of glacial stone. That's breathtaking. Well, it's our final week hiking in Ireland, and we have just clocked 900 kilometres, and feeling rather proud of that, despite the grey, gloomy skies and the constant rain at the moment. I'm just thinking 100 kilometres to go, and we can do this. Yes, we can. Three, two, one, and we're back on the Grand Canal Greenway. Well, after maybe 16 kilometres.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. So what we didn't do on the start of that, of the actual Greenway itself, we did getting here and wandering around that beautiful parkland. All right, off to Pollag. This is St. Mary's Church in Polla, and we're just taking refuge out of the rain while we're waiting for the bus. Some beautiful windows here and some beautiful use of the timber. It's incredible. And one of the locals has just recommended that I come up and look at the window because the artist is very, very famous. And I'll tell you about that a little bit more in a minute. So, wow, these windows are stunning. It's incredible. This is unique, this church. And the story goes that the locals had a big hand in building this, and that they all brought their chairs in and decided what the foundations would look like, and that's why they sat them all around, and that's why the church is shaped the way that it is. It's very, very interesting and very cool. It's beautiful. So right here is the signature of Harry Clark, who is the artist who designed these beautiful windows. Wow. today, Brendan?
Riding the trail instead of walking it for a change.
Why the hell not?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
While the sun's out, just quickly, Grand Canal, much the same as the Royal actually. On the bike so far it's okay, bit rough in patches, but goes between smooth bitumen, gravel and a bit of sort of potholey road so far. So on the way to Edenderry, we stopped at Dangan, I think is how you say it, and I'll show you a little bit of that place on the way back because that's actually quite nice and a really great place to stop. All right, I got to keep going. It's rained, it's been sunny. I've had all the seasons. Big headwind on the way back, so I'm not looking forward to that. Oh well, got to get there. So I wanted to show you this at Dangan. This is Scully's shop, and it's got these magnificent pods here. So these are great to get you out of the wind and the rain, and it's right on the trail. And then there is a pub down there. I don't know if it's open. Pharmacy, a few other things. So yeah, really, really good place to stop. It's so windy today. It's very hard to find shelter. Anyway, 15 k's to go today, and my butt is so sore. And we're riding into that big headwind. But you know what they say? Pain is weakness leaving the body, honey. And for the tree lovers amongst us, look at this. You can see inspiration for the Celtic knot here in the way that this vine is strangling this tree. Can't you? Like, anyway, pretty. Exclusive content for my favorite subscribers. So today I did 48 kilometers on a hotel bike, half of which was into a massive headwind. So gold medal for stupid or for grit. I'm not sure which. Anyway, I had to get a chunk of kilometers off me because of my feet. But what I really wanted to say was, pretty sure I now have a bruised vagina as a result of being on that bike for so long. It's not my bike, not set up for me, and it had a really horrible seat. So watch this space. I'll keep you posted on how that's progressing. It's pretty sore. At least the blood flow has come back to it. This lovely section here is coming into Ballycowan, and this up here is the magnificent ruins of the Ballycowan Castle, and there is actually somebody living in an old house down there because I can see and smell the peat burning from their fireplace. So what a glorious spot right next to this water source, and then right next to the canal, obviously. Amazing, such a magnificent building. And in the front of it here, it looks like they've also taken down some enormous old, probably oak trees recently. Incredible. I never get tired of thinking about how they lived in these old places. That's quite enormous and beautiful. And the other thing that has amazed me about the history of many of these buildings, and not particularly this one, but many of the stately homes, houses, castles were destroyed by war and, you know, out of spite and greed, and that makes me sad because they're just incredible feats of engineering. Anyway, that's history. So a little bit about this canal. The Grand Canal Way is 117 kilometres long. It was built by a number of different groups and it took 47 years to build it. And the biggest problem was actually going through bogland. So that was one of the biggest issues with working out how to actually build the canal and have the banks strong enough to keep the water in the bogland. So behind me there, that's where the person still lives, right there in the castle, or next to the castle. Yeah, and in County Offaly particularly, I'm really loving it. There seems to be quite an outdoorsy culture, and the towns in the county, and particularly along the Greenway, have actually taken great care to build and maintain the paths. At the moment, the path is actually on the other side of the canal. You can walk on this side, and most of the way you can walk on both sides, but some of it is often closed. But yeah, it's just interesting, and I think in years to come there'll be a lot more development of this beautiful greenway. So yeah, and today getting 21 degrees, some wind, just keeping things nice and cool, and flashes of sun. And it's Brendan's birthday. Happy birthday, Brendan, and happy birthday, Marnie, his twin sister. So there you go. Looks like a castle. I must look that up. I've got to cross the canal, so I'm going to cross on this lock. There we go. Done. Tullamore, the beautiful town of Tullamore. This is the old warehouse, and the locals highly recommend this place, and it's right on the canal. Tullamore is a town that is full of shops, full of restaurants. There's a distillery, whiskey distillery nearby, full of accommodation. Fantastic little town in County Offaly. People are awfully nice around here. And so funny. Whoops, we fell into a distillery.
Shooting this for better explanation, you can see that ratcheting mechanism is up, which tells me that in this door down the bottom you can see one of the drainage gates is up. That's how they equalise the locks, or one of the mechanisms anyway.
Hello folks, it's a new day and We are back on the Grand Canal Way, having spent 4 days in Tullamore and doing the section from Polla to Edenderry. So we've just caught a bus to Edenderry, walked about 1.5 kilometres to the trail via the town. The town, by the way, has plenty of amenities and shops and stuff if you do pop off there for any reason. But it's about 1.5 kilometres off trail. And now we're back on trail, and you can see here it is a grassy track. So we'll see how long this goes for. All right, see you later. Now there is actually a road on the other side of the canal, but because of the way we've come onto it, we're on the grassy trail, which is fine with me. Alright, we're back on gravel. So the trail surface this morning has been quite variable, and you can see here now it's still bitumen, but it's pretty rough. So I guess if you're doing this on a bike, you know, a mountain bike would be fine, gravel bike, but I think a road bike would be pretty uncomfortable and a bit risky, I guess, in some respects. So yeah, interesting. This section from Edenderry to, I think we're almost getting towards Allenstown, I think is the next big stop. Yeah.
Here is Larissa crossing the smallest bridge we've come across yet on the side of the Grand Canal Way. I do love an aqueduct.
Right, morning folks. We are here in Allenwood, coming back onto the trail. We exited off here yesterday. If you exit at this bridge, we're like little trolls at the moment.
We are.
If you exit at this bridge, the town of Allenwood is just a couple hundred metres, if that, down the road, so it's really close. Anyway, today we hit our 1,000 kilometres, 1,000
Very exciting.
kilometres in Ireland, and that'll be in about 2 kilometres time. So yeah, very, very excited, because then our hiking adventure is almost done. All right, let's get on the Grand Canal Way and get going.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that's 1,000.
1,000 done. 1,000 kilometres.
We're not quite finished hiking yet, but we've done it. We set out to walk across a country. We've done that. We set out to walk 1,000 kilometres. We've done that. And we set out not to do it and be broken.
And we've done that.
How do you feel?
I feel very good. I'm glad that it's done. Still got a day or two left to get to Dublin. But yeah, pretty good.
And we've done it. We think we're at Lough Town. That's what you can see behind me, where there's a harbour here. So yeah, yay, 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 yay. This is the lovely little town of Robertstown. kind of building over there. I'll show you a little bit of a close-up because it's important. But before I do, look at this gorgeous thing. Beautiful thatched roof. Amazing. Sorry dogs. Sorry dogs. What a lovely little park. So this up here is the Grand Canal Hotel. This is one of 5 I've mentioned before, and this building survives. It's long since been, I guess, not used as a hotel, but the building is still there and in reasonably good nick, all things considered. So yeah, that's what I guess they would have looked like somewhat when they were in their heyday. Obviously a little bit nicer than that. And right as we leave Robertstown, we head back onto grass path again for quite some time, I believe. All right. So just before we leave this area to get back on the grassy trail, we're actually going to cross over to the side where the hotel is because we think that's actually the correct side. At times you can go both sides on this canal, but sometimes they're blocked off. So we're just going to follow what we think is the correct side, so we're not in danger of having to backtrack. Yeah. All right. This is cute little shop. So this is along the way after Lock 16.
Yep.
Past Digby Bridge on the way into Dublin. And I read about it, and it's like an overflow mechanism for the canal. So it's very elaborate. Interesting, I wonder how it works. Maybe from the outside in, I don't know. Anyway, here we go. Let's keep going. Alright, we're just coming into Salons, and along this long stretch before the town is the first time we've seen so many canal boats that really look like they're decent liveaboards and occupied and in really good nick. So it's really interesting how everybody puts their personal touches on them. It's really, really nice. I like it. It's fascinating. Greetings from Salons and Naas. It is our final day of walking, I think, and we are heading to Dublin. I'm going to be presumptuous and wear my sunglasses today, but we're pretty excited. This is just about the end of our trip, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
All right, time to go to the finish line. I'm not going to hurt your babies. They're big babies now. The other parents actually just sitting in the canal down there. Cute.
See its head moving underwater as it looks for stuff.
This is the end of the line, folks. Grand Canal Dock. And I couldn't have had a better day. See you later. It's been great having you. Bye. I've reached Dublin, friends, and it is the most spectacular day. Has been all day. This is the River Liffey behind me, and I'm just off to our fancy schmancy accommodation. But I am thoroughly enjoying this little explore of this city. I'm thinking about you guys and feeling super grateful that Ireland has turned on the weather for us today. I deserve this so much. I deserve this sunny day for a glorious finish in Dublin. Alright, see you guys later.